This is a great safe for pistols, and I'm going to show you a little trick when we hop down the bench on what I use in my bigger safe for my pistols. That aside, if you don't want to use it for pistols, you can use it for anything. You can use it for jewelry, any of your valuables, documents, money, what have you, camera gear, whatever you want to put in there. It's a great little safe for that. I'll show you guys how to set it up, how I have it set up, just little tips and tricks on it, and let me know what you guys think. So let's hop down the bench and go through the safe. All right, so here it is, the BlackSmith safe. This thing has no badging on it, so I did take the liberty to put my Yankee Cowboy sticker on there. Let's go over some specs on this really quick. This thing is 13 inches deep. It's 13 inches wide by 14.17 tall. There's going to be 3 ways to get into this safe. You're going to have your biometric here, you're going to have your emergency key behind this rubber grommet, and you're going to have your keypad. And if your batteries fail on this, there's a USB-C down the bottom here, which is provided the cable. You can plug it into a power brick or plug it into the wall, gain access. This way here you can get in your safe. This thing has a sensor on it for the biometrics. It's a 160 by 160 pixel sensor with a 508 DPI scanner. This thing works really well, guys. Throw your thumb on there, it's quick. It's open there. It works very well. So you can store up to 50 fingerprints. So you can get all your family to get access to it, whoever you want. Multiple fingers, 50 finger access that's a large amount for a biometric safe. You got a 10-digit keypad, has an LCD display. This thing is USB, again, backup for the display and to get access. This thing has an alarm system in it, so if this thing is hit with vibration, tampered with, an alarm will go off. That's a feature you don't really see until you get into a high-end safe. This is a pretty budget-friendly safe, guys. This thing is made of 16-gauge alloy steel. It's pretty thick, robust. It has anti-pry, so you can't stick a screwdriver in. There's a lip behind there, which I'll show you. It has 3 bolts inside here. So solid steel bolts. They're pry-resistant hinges. So there's no way you're going to get in this thing unless you take an angle grinder to it or something, and by the time then you're going to find the person trying to break into it. It also has anchor points on the back side. You can bolt this to a wall, you can bolt it to a floor, and I'll show you that once we open it up. So let's take a quick cruise around the outside. This is your front, obviously, control panel. I'll show you guys the back side where those holes are. Got your 4 holes here. Again, 16 gauge steel, and then you have your 4 holes down on the inside. So let's open this thing up. But before we do, I have the beeps shut off on this because it gets annoying. But all you do to turn that on is hit 1, and then you hit the pound sign, and then every time you hit buttons, it's going to make that noise and drive you nuts. So once that clears out, I'll shut it back off, and then we'll enter the safe. And again, 3 different ways to get in this thing. We can use the keypad, we could use the emergency key, or we could use the biometric. Now, most easiest, obviously, is the biometric. So now we're going to hit 1, that, and the sound is off. Go into our biometrics, it's going to turn blue, and then it'll turn green and open. If you put a wrong finger on here, it'll turn blue to recognize the finger. It turns red, and it will beep and let you know that's not the right finger, but I have the beep shut off, as you saw, because it gets annoying. So we'll open it, blue, turns green, and then it says open. So now we'll turn the handle, we'll open it. This also has an LED light in it here on the back side. It's not the brightest of lights, but it's there. If you were in pitch dark, you'll be able to see. This is steel, so you can put a magnetic light like I have in some of my other safes. Now, what you're going to get inside this safe is you get your carpeted bottom, 4 holes in the bottom to mount it. You get a shelf in here that's removable. And even though this isn't a fireproof safe, they do supply a fireproof bag. So if you want to put documents or jewelry or valuables in this bag is fireproof. So a nice touch there. You have your shelf here, which is removable. You can take this out if you want to put large items in here and you don't want the shelf. Just remove the shelf, and now you have this access in here. You got 14 inches tall. But I think for the most part, people are going to probably utilize the shelf, so we'll stick the shelf back in here. And there's the shelf. Now on this side here, this is where you do all your programming for your fingerprint. You'll open this battery door. There's a reset button right there. You'll hit that reset button, and you'll program your code in the front. The user manual is very intuitive, very straightforward. This is super easy to program. I'm not going to go too much into detail with programming because it's really simple, but you'll hit that reset button, and then you'll come around the front and do all your programming. Here are the 3 bolts here. They're greased already from the factory. They're very nice, and anti-pry hinges. So you got 3 large bolts here. This thing is pretty secure, in my opinion. For a small safe like this, they could have threw you just 1 bolt. I've seen cheap ones with just 1 bolt. This has 3 of them, so just a really nice presentation from BlackSmith. Now, here's a little bonus tip. If you're going to use this thing for pistols, guys, the way it sits now, you'll get maybe 4 in here, 2 laying down and 2 on the shelf up top. Now, let's say you're on a budget and this is the only safe you can afford, and you have 6, 8 pistols, and you want to use this for storage. I'm going to show you a trick here, what I do. I have a safe that's a little wider than this one and taller, and it has 3 shelves in it. And what I do is I went to the dollar store years ago and I picked up one of these dish racks. Now this dish rack obviously is just a little too big to fit in here. You could cut it to make it fit and utilize it in here. I'm not doing that because this goes to my other safe. But here's the trick. You got multiple pistols and you want to put them in here. You get this dollar store dish rack, you put your pistols in and they sit without hitting each other, they don't touch each other, and now you can get 8 pistols in the safe. Or in this case, you'd probably get 6 because you'd have to cut this one down. Versus putting these pistols in and laying them down, you'd only get maybe 4 in there. So this is a great pro tip, guys. Go to the dollar store and buy one of these for $1. These are just a normal dish rack. You may even be able to get one that'll fit inside here, but this one you could always cut it down if you had to. But again, this one belongs to my other safe, so I'm not going to modify it to fit into this one, because otherwise you're only going to get probably 2 in the bottom and maybe 2 in the top. So that's a pro tip, you guys. It's definitely a good thing to do. You'll get a lot more storage. You'll get a lot more guns in there. If you're not using it for guns, that's great. You know, you can still fit quite a bit of stuff in here, whether it be documents, money, jewelry, what have you. Maybe your camera gear, whatever you want to store in here. Or just a really nice safe for the money.